Well then, the end of another GSR season. Season 5, it's had just about everything. Controversy, veterans falling, of course we had rising stars as well. We've had some really close battles, some brilliant strategy calls, and of course we've had the age-old favourites of victory, defeat, and for 4 of our drivers, ultimate championship glory. This season, AXF1 was our first champion to be crowned in Canada, of course becoming GSR's second double world champion. And our second champion to be crowned was last week, GSRTHRASHER, in of course our brand new tier 5. Then of course the rest of the champions have been crowned this weekend. So we've had tier 3, of course Utah Elephant or Joe won the championship in his final race for GSR. Then yesterday for tier 4, GSR Grosjean won the championship with a final last hurrah with a victory. But now finally we wait for the final crown to be clinched. It's looking almost certain now that Beebcheeb will claim it, but of course the constructors championship is also up for grabs. Joining me for the final time this season is GSRTHRASHER. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Fingers crossed we'll get a good race for the final round of GSR season 5. Of course, as we were known prior to this race, F8 are 2 championship contenders, FH and Beebcheeb. They'll both be starting from the back, so that'll make things quite interesting from their point of view. Of course, then that'll basically mean the championship's already been wrapped up, but of course we will not announce that until the end of this race, because it's still not impossible for FH to take the championship, but it is extremely unlikely to put it at that. It's a shame really, but FH, I know, he told me last week he's happy with this season, and well, he tried his best, but unfortunately it just wasn't quite there in the end.
Yeah, FH, you guys, the guys remember that he could have won champion last season in tier 3, but was close, fell just short to Broken Reptile. So he's got a tall task ahead of him, but it can be done. So I'm going to be focused on trying to make no mistakes and hope that, as he actually gets my pole, but his championship contender Beebcheeb makes some mistakes.
Yeah, that was just no viewers. That was planned from FH. He said to me he was going to set a lap and then retire. So he's actually going to I don't know where he's going to be on the grid with that, but still, fingers crossed. Then it'll be a good championship finale, because well, it might get a little bit of rain. Of course, we don't know, but GSR season 5 it has had pretty much everything, and to have a good race to end off this season. Of course, during this season we didn't really have any idea where GSR was going to be at the end of this season, but thankfully our partnership with European Top Speed Racing, or ETSR for short, that is, well, it's actually really worked out well for GSR so far. So fingers crossed then for the future, and of course season 6, which will be happening, I think pre-season will be happening in about 2 weeks time, I'm gonna say. No, 3 weeks I should say. Yeah, because 3 weeks time, because we'll have 2-week break, and then we'll have pre-season, then we'll have the Easter weekend off, and then we'll finally go racing in about 5 weeks time. So for of course the final season on F1 2020. Before then, we transfer over to the new game, which will be hopefully provide us with more exciting action.
Yeah, a lot of people, have been complaining about, 2020, this game. So hopefully, there are a lot of improvements are made next year. I know, for me, for sure, hope there's some definite improvements. So, what final season for coming up? So, definitely after the season we've had this year, I think definitely will be something to look for next season.
Yeah, of course, season 6 then it'll be slightly shorter than season 5. Of course, we're kind of limited because right now we don't know when the new game is going to come out. So the season length is still up for debate. Right now it's at 13 rounds. I think we'll be starting in Japan, I believe. I just need to check that because I'll check that in announcements. I may be completely wrong with that, but I've seen. Nope, sorry, we'll be starting in Bahrain. So we'll be starting in Bahrain. Then it will be Japan, and of course, then the season will end right where it left off this season. But of course, that's a long way down the line at the moment, and right now we just look on to season 6. It's hopefully a bit of a revival of Global Spec Racing, because this season 5, as I mentioned, it's been tough for GSR, but fingers crossed then we can bounce back next season, and well, maybe look at the phase we've had this season, and then, well, I said just bounce back in the best way possible in time for the season opener on the 9th of April. So we'll see then. But of course, we still got this season to wrap up. So right now, our championship leader Beebcheeb, he leads the way. Clearly not following the guidelines he told us. So he's just playing it safe. Then Vapor JS, of course, massively. He's improved pretty massively throughout this season. Of course, he was previously in Tier 4. He then moved up to Tier 3, and just this weekend he was made a Tier 2 full time. So it's been crazy how much he's improved. Also, Vapor Callum is also here. Of course, the Tier 3 runner-up. It was he was a bit unfortunate with the way. Well, 1, he got the penalties, and 2, he got a very unfortunate puncher on the final lap. No, sorry, second to last lap, which unfortunately ruined his title hopes. But of course, we have a few potential next season drivers in here as well, such as Chungus, Lewis Whitby, and Elite Snipes. So Eggers then goes to the top. But our driver lineup, it's looking strong for next season. So fingers crossed we won't have like we've had in Tier 1 this season, and fingers crossed then we will have good attendance for the majority of next season.
Yeah, definitely. With next season and a bunch of drivers, new drivers that we can't wait to, show off what they've got. But like you said, Elite Snipes and who else was it? Chungus, showing what they have today to carry into next season.
Yeah, there was a few more Tier 2 reserves, but of course the for once we actually struggled to fit 20 drivers. It's very unlike GSR, but thankfully we have a full grid today to end off season 5. But of course, with the dust settled, there's 24 points between FH and Beebcheeb. Beebcheeb didn't quite wrap it up in Mexico, but it's pretty much more than certain that he'll wrap it up this time, because in order for FH to win the championship, he'd have to be first, and Beebcheeb would have to be 10th. So it is well very unlikely, not impossible, but it is extremely unlikely considering that FH is only down in 5th at the moment and Beebcheeb is currently on the front row.
Yeah, like you said, it's definitely unlikely, but it's not impossible. It's possible. I've seen stuff like that happen before. So Beebcheeb, not Beebcheeb, sorry, FH has to be on his game today if he wants to win this championship, and has to hope for a little bit of luck on his side as well.
Yeah. Another thing I thought I'd point out was the fact that this is Beebcheeb's final race for GSR. He's been a solid part of Tier 2 for the last 2 seasons, but now he's going to move on. He's going to move on to his own league, ABRL, and it's a bit sad to see him go, because of course he's achieved so much in these last 2 seasons. And he goes to the top of the times by an absolute country mile. But Beebcheeb then he's on the verge of becoming, well, GSR's 4th double world champion. We've had 3 double world champions this season, which is quite crazy to think about, considering we only had one before with I think it was Alabama Outlaw with Tier 2 in its inaugural season, then Tier 1 Season 3. But although Beebcheeb's not completely out the woods, he'll be wanting to, well, enjoy his last race, because because of his consistency, as he showed last season when he managed to outscore 2 drivers, of course Archie and Davis. Of course he's now only got FH to contend with, but he's got a much bigger gap this time. He's got a much bigger buffer, so Beebcheeb then he's more than set to become GSR's 4th double world champion.
Yeah, like you said last season, had closer battles with Davis this year. Not so much with FH, but Beebcheeb definitely, like you said, last season's champion, carrying the momentum into this season, has had a terrific season so far, and looks to cap off his final race as a new member of a very prestigious list of double champions. Obviously, that list only being Axe and I believe Alabama Outlaw.
The list is Alabama Outlaw was the first one, then Axe F1 was the second, then GSRTHRASHER, of course, yesterday scored. Well, he was the first. No, he wasn't the first back-to-back champion, but he was the first single-tier back-to-back champion. So he took his 2nd title in a row in last night. So then Beebcheeb will join Alabama Outlaw, Axe F1, and GSRTHRASHER as current GSR double world champions. Of course, there are still plenty of drivers though on the grid that could still, well, get a championship, maybe even get a double world championship. But what those 4 drivers have managed to achieve is something just phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. Davis retires from session, but Beebcheeb definitely one of the most coming in to GSR. Not a lot of people knew about him, including myself. But he has definitely made his name known last season and this season. So Beebcheeb really trying to go out one final time in GSR, hoping to go back to back.
Yeah, I can remember my my one and only battle with Beebcheeb. I think it was in Hungary Tier 2 last season. It was it was a good battle with him in wet conditions. Of course, I at the time was trying to prove myself as well, as was Beebcheeb. Of course, if I'd stayed on that championship, I probably would have won it by miles. But you know, it's it was some good times when well, both Beebcheeb and I were making our names known in the league racing community, and Beebcheeb now, well, and me, you could say, we're quite well known names now in GSR, and especially if well, Beebcheeb would be one of the greats of GSR if he could pull off the championship today.
Definitely, I totally agree.
Yeah, he could. He would be. It would be an incredible achievement to for him to wrap up his final race in GSR. It's been ups and downs for Beebcheeb. He's always had a little bit of a temper on him, but he's overall he's a nice guy, and he'll be missed in the GSR community as he then moves on to other ambitions. Of course, as I said, the league he now owns, ABRL, and of course the other leagues that he does as well. And he then goes quickest. He wants to end off this season with a bang, and he is showing that right now, going the top of the times, nearly as quick as the Tier 1 pole time yesterday. So Beebcheeb then pretty much going all out on his final race. Well, I mean, I doubt he'd have it any other way, because he is more than shown that he is capable of winning this championship today, and his qualifying at the moment is just proving that he will that if he stayed on, he could have maybe become a Tier 1 driver next season. But of course, he's done some amazing achievements in Tier 2, and of course he'll carry them with him through to his other leagues as he moves on to different ambitions.
Yeah, well, talking about, you said wrapping up. Not talking about wrapping it up. We're wrapping up qualifying. We've got guys coming to the line. FH, I believe that it. No, it's Jimbo coming to the line. It's KDX coming to the line. KDX is going to go P4.
Yeah, FH is at turn 9, so yeah, Jimbo then goes P15, VaporJS then goes P4, Cormac is not improving, Leclerc then is pretty much the only one to pit Beebcheeb now, and he's actually going to be really close to the McLaren. FH then he backs off. So here comes Leclerc then, who then is going to be on pole for the final race of the season. Is it going to be Leclerc or is it going to be Beebcheeb? It's Beebcheeb. He goes quickest, but Eggers is not improving. Dougal then is not improving. Elite Snipes is a little bit, so he could move up a few positions, but he won't be anywhere near challenging for the top. So then Beebcheeb in his final race takes pole here at Brazil, ahead of actually quite a small margin ahead of Leclerc. Then Cormac F1 gets third. Then VaporJS just behind him in fourth. Then KDX Breyer takes fifth. Sixth is ETSR Edgars. Seventh is SSR Hamilton. 8th is Scary Spunk. 9th is Vapor Callum. 10th is Dougal. 11th is Dad F1 Boy. 12th is GSR FH 444. 13th is Davis 2K7. 14th is Cameron W120. And then we'll just get them up. Just get the times up then for the final guys to end off GSR Season 5. Then 15th is Chungus Goat. Then 16th is Lewis Whitby. 17th is Elite Snipes. 18th is ETSR Jimbo. 19th is Striker XX23. And 20th is Matthew Moomies 03. So then, an interesting grid then for the final race. Of course, Beebcheeb, all he needs to do is score 2 points, and he has done it. That's all he needs to do in order to win the title, I believe. Actually, no, he needs to get 8th or higher, I should say, because I think FH has got more wins than him. But FH is down in 12th, so I highly doubt that to be the case. So then, a race of high attrition, and also it's quite harmful on the weather is Brazil. So can we see then an exciting conclusion? Maybe like the 2012 Brazilian Grand Prix, but it's not looking that way this time in terms of the weather. But of course, it's a little bit overcast. So we could see a little bit of rain at the end. Thank you very much to the viewers who join us. Make sure to tune into our stream because this is the finale of GSR Season 5 and the Tier 2 Season 4 finale between FH and Beebcheeb. So then, who then will take the final final honours in GSR Season 5? Beebcheeb then has set the inaugural pace, but of course Leclerc is really close to the back of him. So who then will take final honours in this fascinating GSR season? Where they go then? I'll just touch upon VaporJS quickly. Of course, I know. Of course, he was previously GSR Deluxe, who took part in Tier 4. He has improved dramatically from then. In just 3 weeks, he's jumped. In just 2 weeks, I should. Yeah, is it 3 weeks? Yeah, it's 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Since Canada, he has jumped 2 tiers from Tier 4 to Tier 2. It's been quite something VaporJS has managed to do. Any other drivers I want to put my mind on? I don't think so. Of course, we have a few Tier 3 drivers racing today. Of course, as I mentioned, Vapor Callum. And I think that's it. Which is actually quite impressive, to be honest. We have quite a few full-time Tier 2s in tonight. And of course, we have a few reserves as Jimbo and Striker come together. Oh, Beebcheeb then gets a bit of a slide. I'm guessing he did that maybe for... Oh, that's Cormac round. So, Cormac and Leclerc get disqualified. That's a shame. Because now that I basically mean Beebcheeb's only challenge off the line will be VaporJS. Well, VaporJS, he is known for getting good starts. So, he could challenge Beebcheeb. But that has not done Leclerc and Cormac any favours in trying to beat Beebcheeb today. So then, they're now coming up to the final corner then. Of course, it's not quite as close, not quite as dramatic of a finale as Tier 3 and Tier 4 were. Not impossible for FH to win the title, but it's extremely unlikely. So then, they're lining up then, ready for the conclusion of GSR Season 5. Beebcheeb then lining up in P1. Alongside him will be Leclerc in P2, then Cormac in P3. So then, who then will get the better start and the advantage going down into turn 1? Here we go then. Final few drivers going into position, and for the final time, we'll get ready to go racing in Global Spec Racing Season 5. Okay then, so when are they going to start revving up? Here we go then. Wait for them to rev up, and for the final time. When are they going to go then? Alright then, for the final time, GSR Season 5 is underway. It's actually a good initial launch from Leclerc. Beebcheeb then actually has to really fight. Leclerc then tries to go around the outside, but he's got no grip. VaporJS then using the extra grip he's got from the warm-up tyres to get a brilliant start. He's already in the P2. KDX then has also made a good start. The Cormac has not made a great start. He's already dropped 2 positions. That's SSR Hamilton diving up the inside of Cormac. Cormac's just got no grip on those on those tyres because of how cold they are. And Scarius then could have a go on Cormac going into turn 6. Scarius then is going to try at the inside, but Cormac then he defends to the inside and it doesn't quite get through. We got any Edgar's then. I think Edgar's has been spun. He's had a terrible start. He's down from P6 now down to P20, but it's Beebcheeb who leads from Vapor JS, Leclerc, KDX, SSR Hamilton, Cormac, Scarius, Callum, Dougal and Abra. But then here comes Dougal then. He could have a go on Vapor Callum going down into turn 1, but Scarius then is actually no, sorry, that's Vapor Callum then really close to the back of Scarius. Beebcheeb then of course sets fastest lap. As then they're already on the lap 2. Of course the laps are incredibly short around the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. So then here comes Vapor Callum then on Scarius, potentially going down into the Retroposta, but not quite close enough to the back of the Mercedes to try anything. Cormac then and SSR Hamilton are now going out. Of course, Cormac has now got those tyres up to temperature, and he'll be now trying to gain back the positions he lost at the start. He lost 3 positions, which actually isn't too bad considering he had stone cold tyres. Edgar's then he's retired in the pit lane. It's been an unfortunate end to the season for Edgar's, but he then retires in the pit lane after getting spun. Close battle at the moment is between Dougal and Callum. So far the midfield actually quite close up, a little bit like what we saw in Tier 3 on Friday. Field is very close at the moment. Beebcheeb then already out of the 1 second window, and he is building a gap on Vapor JS and Leclerc, but Leclerc is actually staying with Vapor JS. So Vapor JS maybe lost a little bit of his speed from yesterday because of course he took part in Tier 1. But here, Vapor JS somehow still gets DRS. It's a bit odd. Oh right, because wait, hang on, how does that work? Oh right, he must have got it from Edgar's. I'm guessing he did. Okay, Cormac going to start Hamilton going side by side. Cormac then going to try it round the outside at turn 6. SSR Hamilton then covers him off. He's not going to leave him any space on the outside. And SSR Hamilton then stays ahead of Cormac. And Cormac's been spun by Scarius. Scarius then has spun him round. And Vapor Callum then is in the wall. And I'm surprised he's not out with that impact. But Vapor Callum then gets collected by, I think that was Scarius. Cormac then, he's ghosted for some reason, and Scarius then is trying to defend, but Scarius actually gets past Cormac. I think Cormac may have some damage from that. Unfortunate there. Alright then, Leclerc is now all over the back of Vapor JS. He could try and have a go down into the Retroposta. He's really close. Vapor JS then runs a little bit wide. Here comes Leclerc then. He's not going to use his overtake actually, but he's still going to be just about close enough. Vapor JS then closes the door down into turn 4, and it's not quite close enough to the back. But Scarius and Dougal then going. Dougal, I think, yeah, Dougal's left, so I'm going to have to get him back in. But oh dear, that's a little bit annoying. But Dougal's a friend, god damn it. Thrasher, could you try and invite him back if you're there? No, apparently Thrasher's not there at the moment, so. Alright then, so I'll try and get Dougal back in before. Oh no, he's going back, never mind. So then, Leclerc then really close to the back of JS. He's got about 20% more earth, so he'll be able to use it all the way down this straight. Then here comes Dougal, then he easily dispatches of Vapor JS, and he's now up into P2, and he'll try and get past Beebcheeb then, but Vapor JS actually runs really wide, which could allow KDX a chance into down the Retroposta again. But Beebcheeb then has got a very comfortable lead at the moment. He actually runs on the grass a little bit, which is something you don't want to do. But at the moment, Beebcheeb looking very comfortable ahead of Leclerc and Vapor JS. But of course, Vapor JS, he cannot look around for too long because KDX is right there on the back, and KDX then could have a go then. Maybe down the inside into turn 7, sorry, turn 8, but no, not quite close enough then to the back of the racing point. Cormac then still trying to stay on the back of Scaris. It's actually quite impressive that he's staying on the back of Scaris, considering he has front wing damage. But still. Then GSR FH Triple 4 has actually gained a few positions off that. He's now up into P8. But of course, nowhere near what he needs to happen in order to win the title today. But of course now, him starting on the mediums will now start benefiting him. He'll now start to be going quicker as he has a massive lock up into turn 1. He'll be starting to go a little bit quicker then. SR Hamilton then gets a penalty. I didn't realize Vapor JS had a penalty already. And Cormac also has a penalty. KDX then is really close to the back of Vapor JS, but he's still not quite able to do. Oh, Jimbo gets hit by Lewis Whitby, and that then chain effect. Oh, Jimbo's out. That's really unfortunate there for Jimbo, and it's a safety car here. That could actually be really crucial in the constructors. That could be really crucial in the constructors, because that could be maybe the deciding factor in it. Oh, man. Alright then, so I'm trying to think where Thrasher's gone. Vapor JS then is in, along with KDX, Scarius, Cormac. Not FH, FH stays out there. This could actually not help FH at all. Vapor JS then is coming in for a set of hards. KDX for a set of mediums. Interesting. Cormac then for a set of hards. Scarius then for a set of mediums. Cameron then in for a set of mediums. So a few interesting strategy calls. I'll actually go on to the tyres they've chosen. So Vapor JS then, he is on the hards. KDX is on the mediums, Scarus on the mediums, Dave's on the softs, interestingly. Cameron is on the mediums, Cormac's on the hards, Chung's on the hards, Matt is on the hards, and Lewis Whitby's on the hards. So that's really unfortunate for Jensen there. Sorry for Jimbo. He that's really annoying for him. And that could actually be really crucial, because right now, I believe... Hang on, I'll check this. 15 points. No, they wouldn't. Actually, yes, they would, because Elite Snipes at the moment is in the top 10. So Williams then would take the constructors. If they stay where they are now. Very interesting. I'll just ask Thrasher where he is. Still there. Yeah, I'm just gonna ask Thrasher where he is, because otherwise it's just for some reason Leclerc has decided to take Beebcheeb. Don't know why. He must have outbraked him a little bit, but oh well. But FH then, he could actually be in a pretty good position, because Beebcheeb has chosen not to pit, which is interesting to say the least, as is Leclerc and as is Hamilton. So Beebcheeb then, I don't know if he's marked his race or not, because I know hards can go to the end. So right now, Vapor JS, I believe, would be leading. I'll check the gap to leader, but of course Vapor JS, he does have a penalty, so that's interesting.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
There we go.
I had a family emergency happen, so.
Oh right, okay. That's fine. Anyway, you're doing bad just in time. So then, we're now getting ready then for the safety car restart. Lewis Whitby then crashed into Matty Moomer for some reason. So then, Beebcheeb then, a very interesting call not to pit, but will that come back to bite him in the long run? Here we go then. Beebcheeb then, he bolts it. FH then has got a he's got a really good restart on both SSR Hamilton and Leclerc. Could he maybe try the inside of both of them? SSR Hamilton then he gets squeezed out, which will promote FH into P3. He's now going to fight Leclerc then, because of course FH he technically now is on the better tyre because they won't wear as much, but he gets a little bit on the grass. Beebcheeb then has really managed to take advantage of that to pull ahead in the so far. Abra then, this could also really help him because he is on the mediums, but Elite Snipes then, no, he hasn't got front wing damage. Thought he had for some reason. So then, FA is an interesting. He's dropping back from Leclerc, so maybe those mediums are not working as well as we expected. But surely then, if the soft tires.
The contact between KDX and Vapor JS almost got Vapor spun.
Why then he lost so much time to Elite Snipes with that piece of contact. So FH then, he's actually not gaining on the top two, which surprises me a little bit. But SSR Hamilton then, he has really not fared well off that restart. JS and KDX then still going side by side. They KDX then, he actually really hampers JS, which could allow Scarius then up the inside into down to the Renault Reposter, but he's not quite close enough to have a go. Davis then is right in there. Of course, for some reason he pit onto a set of softs. Still a mystery to me, but okay. But I don't know if that will help Davis, because he's really got to get past these guys in order to take advantage of that.
Yeah, he tried to go soft, medium, but he has to get by both Sprunk and Vapor. Yes. Oh, the contact between Vapor.
That was close. Oh dear. Oh, they may taking each other out.
Davis out. Yes.
That's a huge crash. Davis and Scarius then take each other out. I don't know whose fault that was, but that is huge then, because that now brings out the, actually no, it doesn't really change much. It just brings out the, if it was a full course safety car, then that could change a little bit. Well, but Davis, that's odd.
There was contact between Vapor JS and Scarius Sprunk, and I think what happened was Sprunk got to the back of Vapor and it spun Vapor sideways. Davis tried to take advantage and was on the inside of Scary Sprunk, and I think Sprunk may have hooked Davis and hooked them both into the barrier.
Maybe. I can't really tell at the moment, because that was a very odd crash, but they yeah, it was unfortunate. They both now are out of this race, and that now promotes Cormac back up into P7. Beebcheeb then, that's crucial. He now gets his, that was a very odd place to get a 3-second off the exit of there. So Beebcheeb then, he's got to be careful, because right now Leclerc would be leading, and Leclerc is actually gaining on him a little bit. So maybe Beebcheeb then is a little bit light. Well, he maybe is struggling a little bit with penalties at the moment. Of course, Leclerc now will have DRS, but Abra will have DRS on FH, as he's going to try and have a go, maybe down to turn 4, but not quite able to do so. Oh, that was a bit of a slide from FH. Yeah, just managed to keep it together though, as Leclerc and Beebcheeb, they're almost just pulling. Well, they're almost in a world of their own right now, because FH seems to be struggling a little bit for some reason. This is not like him. Well, it was a bit like when he qualified really low in USA, but he kind of got his mojo back a little bit in Mexico. Had he not have been had he pitted under under safety car, but of course he wasn't quite able to. Then Leclerc then is having a go on Beebcheeb. Could he maybe set himself up to have a go down into the Red Reposter? Maybe so. He's got to get the center S right. Cormac then is past JS, then up the inside, and now into P6. So then can Leclerc get past Beebcheeb? Not quite close enough. But Beebcheeb and Leclerc, they've got astonishing pace at the moment.
You know, Leclerc second right with Beebcheeb, and with if Beebcheeb in his 3 second, if you know potentially if Leclerc doesn't get another penalty, or not another, but if Leclerc does not get a penalty, we could see this two battle for the win. The other flying, I believe that's Callum.
Yeah. Oh dear. So Callum then, his bad luck's continuing from tier 3 because he's not getting any better. But Leclerc then is now actually really close to the back of Beebcheeb. So I reckon Leclerc might be able to get him here. Here he comes then down the straight. Looking like Beebcheeb is not putting up much of a fight because he knows Leclerc will be legitimately in the lead anyway. Leclerc then gets round the outside and an easy pass into the center S. So then, yeah, it almost looked like Beebcheeb let him go a little bit. Perhaps Beebcheeb's tyres are going off a little bit. But of course, the difference is, actually, now I think about it, FH might be trying to get those mediums to maybe the soft period, because then it'll be really quick at the end. But right now that's not clear, because, well, Beebcheeb and Leclerc, they are definitely going to be going on the mediums to the end of this race, just like they did in Mexico. But what will FH and Abra do? Because they could try and get to the soft period, because I know the mediums can go that length, as can the softs. But well, I know for a fact FH particularly is very good at managing his tyres. So could that be what they're trying to do here?
I think so, and can definitely, I think can definitely be done, because as long as the mediums can make it about 22, 23 laps, softs can go to the end, because in tier 5 earlier today when I commentated, Wills made the softs go 17 laps.
Fair enough.
So.
Well, that's quite a way. But if that's the case, then FH, you could maybe get away with pitting about lap 20 and still could get to the end. So, well, it would definitely put him in it definitely put him in a good spot for the for definitely the first part of the second stint. But whether they'll be able to continue that for the second part of the stint is at the moment unclear. But Leclerc then now has opened up over a DRS period. Beebcheeb then comes in though, so clearly then he was struggling on those tyres. 15 laps then he's done. Well, that's including the safety car. So I don't know if Beebcheeb can get to the end on a set of mediums, considering how little racing he's done. But he's going to the mediums anyway. So can you make this strategy work potentially? As well, it's very clear now that actually no, Leclerc's still getting away. So even, well, slightly. Oh, F8 thinks it's a bit of a snap on the exit. It's 4. But Leclerc then, even on worn tyres, he is showing he has the pace. His Vapor.js then has been spun round. Not sure if that was on his own accord, or if that was with anyone. But Leclerc then, he's still gaining on FH. And Leclerc then, he must have tyres that are, well, quite a bit more worn than FH. But Leclerc then, it's almost like he's on another planet at the moment, because he's really, he is showing maybe well, I don't know what tier will be next season, but if he does stay in tier 2, he might maybe move up to tier 1. He is showing he will have the pace next season.
Yeah, and something I like to point out with Beebcheeb, this is kind of like Tier 5, as he gets by Vapor JS as he Vapor pits, but I really like the position Beebcheeb is in right now, because this happened earlier today in Tier 5, and uh, Beebcheeb, sorry, Static was in Beebcheeb's position, and um, Hot Wheels was in Leclerc's position. Wheels stayed out a couple more laps, and those couple laps eventually cost them from the race win. So we could possibly see something just like that happen here with Leclerc and Beebcheeb.
The difference might be though is the fact that Leclerc he has got good pace on
There
those
he goes.
tyres. He's managing to he's managed the gap to FH. He's actually managed to extend it a little bit before. Of course, now he comes in, but he will comfortably be able to take those tyres to the end. And Elite Snipes also comes in. But Leclerc then looking in a very good position to maybe win this race. But where will Beebcheeb be then as he comes out? Beebcheeb then he comes across the line, sets fastest lap then. Where will he be then? It'll be close between these guys. I think Beebcheeb's got it. Yes, he does. So Beebcheeb then has made the undercut work, but of course, only just actually. They're actually really close between each other, and Leclerc has 2 lap younger tyres, so that could maybe be a bit of an advantage. But now of course we have to keep an eye on FH and Abra, because they will be quite close. They will be quite close to them, but the difference will be they'll be on the softs at the end. They will be on the quicker tyre at the end. So could they maybe make this work? Because, well, FH at the moment, he's in quite a good position, especially as Beebcheeb has a penalty.
Yeah, that's huge for the level of for the lead, because with Beebcheeb's 3 second, could definitely help FH and Abrar, because they were right around that 3 second gap behind the leaders, if I'm not mistaken. So if with them on the fastest tire at the end, this could definitely be huge for FH and Abrar.
Gap's currently about 13 seconds at the moment, so Beebcheeb would be comfortably out in front. Sorry, Beebcheeb and Leclerc would be comfortably out in front of FH and Abra. But of course, then there'll be the pace deficit in terms of the tyres, because, well, we have FH and Abra on the softs, and then we'll have Beebcheeb and Leclerc on the mediums. But they will have the advantage. But they might get stuck in a bit of a DRS train, though. That is something that happens here in Brazil. That can happen a little bit. But Leclerc then, speaking of that, speaking of DRS, Leclerc is getting close. But Beebcheeb then, he's using his ERS, but he'll likely run out of it, which could allow Leclerc then a run, but not quite close enough then, going down to the center S. He's close though, so he could either go down into turn 4. Of course, he's staying well away from the curbs, as he knows that Beebcheeb. Actually, it doesn't really matter if Leclerc gets past Beebcheeb or not, because he'd win on track anyway. Because, well, Beebcheeb's got a penalty and he doesn't. But saying that, I'm starting to question FH and Abra's strategy now, because Beebcheeb just gained 1.5 seconds out of them on that lap. So there's going to be quite a big gap once FH and Abra eventually come out. Question is, when will they pit though? Because we know the softs can do just about 16 laps. So FH then doesn't come in this time. Abra then still chasing him. Beebcheeb then once again gets a good exit off the exit of Jun Sao. So, but he does use a lot of ERS, which could come back to bite him. As Leclerc then, well, Leclerc is still hanging in there. He doesn't need to get past Beebcheeb. He's just got to not get any penalties. And, well, this could be Leclerc's win today, as they are looking very good at the moment. Yeah, Abra now gets a penalty. However, I've completely forgot about Cormac and Chungus, because and Matty, I should say, they are all legitimately ahead of them because they are on the hard tyres. So Cormac then he could be in a good position, but Beebcheeb and Leclerc will be gaining a lot of time down. Well, they'll be gaining a lot of time on them. KDX then he's retired up at turn 7. Oh, saying that, this will really help FH and Abra now. So, yeah, no brainer then. Those guys are coming in. Is Cormac going to come in as well? Yes, he does. Do Beebcheeb and Leclerc pit? Because this could... Oh, this is really spiced up the race now. Because now FH and Abra will both be on the better tyres and they'll be right with
Leclerc pits and Beebcheeb stay out.
Yeah. So now they'll be right behind him. Leclerc comes in though. So that's something interesting to consider. But of course we know how quick Leclerc is. And FH will be on the better tyres. And he'll be legitimately ahead of Beebcheeb. And well, he's right behind him this time. So FH and Abra, that has really worked out for them. KDX then, he's kind of saved their race, because now the safety car's out. That gap that I mentioned about, that's gone. That is completely gone. So can FH then take advantage of this, and maybe he can win the final race this season? However, as I mentioned, he at the moment would not be doing enough in order to win the title. In order for that, Beebcheeb would have to drop like a stone to for him to not win the title. FH then and FH, Leclerc and Matty are the only ones now to not have penalties in the top 10. So that could also be interesting. Because, well, so Beebcheeb then has 3, Abra has 3, Elite Snipes has 3, Cormac has 6, Cameron has 3, Chungus has 5, Vapor Callum has 3, Striker has 3, Lewis Whitby has 6, and Vapor JS has 3. So right now, if FH is in this position, if he can do what he didn't manage to do in Mexico, this could all of a sudden swing. Pendulum could swing in FH's favour here.
Yeah, something that could be interesting to watch is since Beebcheeb has a penalty and FH does not, with almost half the field on some soft tires, Beebcheeb on the mediums. You know, just all it takes is a little bit of chaos, and Beebcheeb could drop from first to back of the field just like that.
Yeah, so this championship's not over yet, because Beebcheeb could have made a crucial mistake here, going on those soft tires. Of course, he's got his teammate for buffer, and that's something else I better mention. Williams right now they'd win the constructors because FH would be the only McLaren scorer. Jimbo unfortunately got taken out by I can't remember who it was, but then safety car is now in. So 13 laps to the end. Then can Beebcheeb then hold on those mediums, or will the likes of FH, Abra, Cormac, Cameron, Chungus, Leclerc, and Matty, can they then maybe swing the pendulum in FH's favour here? Here we go then. When will Beebcheeb go? He is not quite going yet. He'll want to catch FH out. And he's going now. So, here we go then. Beebcheeb then has done exactly what he needed to do. He's caught out FH a little bit. But Elite Snipes then has also got a really good restart. He's trying to go around the outside, and there's been major contact between Elite Snipes and Abra. there's absolute chaos in the back of the field. That's a huge crash between, I think that was Abra, Callum. A ginormous crash, cars all over the track. That's Leclerc out. That's Callum out. That's Abra out.
Wow.
What has just happened?
Wow.
What was that?
That was... And it all started from the contact between Elite Snips and Abra. But now, this now has Cameron on the podium.
Yeah. And right now, FH can only tie with Beebcheeb. He cannot win. So, well, he can do it on countback. No, he definitely can't win now. Because unless he gets the fastest lap. Here comes FH then. He's already going to try and have a go on his championship rival down into turn 4. But he's not quite close enough. Can FH then get the run that is fabulous, seeing these two guys battle one last time. Here comes FH, and he could try and have a go then into 7, but it's not quite close enough then. Of course, he is on the better tyres, but Beebcheeb then is doing all he needs to do right now in order to secure this championship. He pretty much is guaranteed now at the championship unless FH then gets fastest lap. But FH then he could have a go on Beebcheeb. Beebcheeb doesn't get the best of exits. But Beebcheeb then is trying to have a go. Does Cormac want an invite back? Yes, he does. So, Thrasher, could you do that if you got him as a friend?
I don't, but I can try.
Yeah.
To get him.
Okay.
Who was it you said was
Okay,
Cormac?
nice. Cormac F1, yeah. All right then. So here comes FH. Then he could have a go then. Another go on his championship rival then. It down into the red repository, he comes out. He's fully alongside this time. The two championship contenders still going wheel to wheel. FH then, I think he's got the advantage this time though. No, he hasn't. Beebcheeb still stays ahead. And FH then, actually no, both of them have got very low Rs, and that's now allowing Cameron to come to the back. But of course FH still has the advantage because he is on penalties, I should say. So just 10 laps to go. FH then and Beebcheeb still fighting it out. Even if FH cannot win the championship, he still is not going to give it up because something could happen to Beebcheeb. But of course, for FH to win the title now, he'd have to win and get fastest lap in order to be within a chance of getting him. Here comes FH. Then he's still got DRS, and he's going to go to the inside of the center S this time. Beebcheeb has to yield this time, and FH then is through up into the lead of this race. But of course Beebcheeb's gonna have a run, but as is Cameron. So here he comes then. Comes Beebcheeb then. FH, I'm losing my voice. Beebcheeb then trying to go round the outside, but FH then stays ahead this time, and FH then is finally up into the lead. Cameron then is also with them, so it could be a good three-way fight for the closeout of this season. Of course, FH's tyres will start to go off at the end, but Cameron is right there. Matty then with the 3 seconders, him and Vapor JS squeezing each other going through turn 9. That was quite weird to see, but Matty then still close. Vapor JS then he's got some front wing damage, so that was still not preventing him from trying to go around the outside, but he's lost so much downforce from that, and that could then allow Cormac back through. Yeah, he's back now because FA to Beebcheeb, they're still so close. FA then locks up, which could allow Beebcheeb then on the back of him. Can Beebcheeb then have a go? But Cameron is of course still there. FA then will try to defend again. They've pretty much got the same amount of Rs as is Cameron. So Matty then, I believe he's past Striker then. Yeah, Matty's past Striker now. Because Striker is on the mediums. But this three-way battle is still as thrilling as ever. Still the top three separated by about a second. FH is holding on for dear life to try and get this final win of the season. Of course, he knows he can let Beebcheeb through and still win because well, he cannot afford to get a penalty though, because otherwise that could lose him a chance of winning this race. But Beebcheeb then's got a little bit more errs, and he could try and have a go. But Cameron is also right there. They've got roughly the same amount of errs as each other. So Beebcheeb then, can he try it down to center S again? FH locks up again. He's kind of maybe struggling through turn one a little bit, but he's got a bigger gap this time. Of course, Beebcheeb doesn't have any errs this time. So FH then, can he defend? Yes, he does. And they still battle on with only 8 laps to go in this race. It's still a thrilling battle at the front.
And very close between the top three. But real quick, hats off to Cameron. You know, Cameron not really known for running the podium position here in GSR, but currently running P3. Great race for Cameron.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the fact we've had 11 retirements this race just shows how high attrition this race has been. Of course, chaos, the safety cars. But Beebcheeb then, he's having to go back on FH. So they made contact with each other. That got a little bit too close. That could then allow Cameron. Here comes Cameron then. He's trying to cook up the side of both of them here. Trying to Beebcheeb and Cameron. Cameron going wheel to wheel. Beebcheeb then could try and have a go on FH, but he's not quite close enough. Cameron then provides us with a thrilling three-way battle to end off this season. Beebcheeb then has no words. Cameron has the smallest of margins. These guys running very dry on their batteries. But Beebcheeb then goes a little bit wide at turn 9, which could allow Cameron then to have a go. Maybe down to 10, but he's not quite close enough. But FH's tires that may be starting to go off as he gets another slide coming out of 10. Through 11 they come now. And up to Jun Sao turn 12. They could try. Beebcheeb then doesn't get the best of exits. Cameron then gets a decent exit. And he could try and have a go then. But Beebcheeb, of course, he's kind of stuck in a bit of a DRS trait though, because Beebcheeb has the DRS on FH, but Beebcheeb then he's not got nearly enough hers to try and attack. They've basically got about the same hers at the moment because they're battling so much. Just 6 laps to go then. Still the battle at the front rages on. Cameron then gets a massive snap out the center S. But FH doing all he needs to do at the moment to win this race. But Beebcheeb himself doing all he needs at the moment to win this championship. So Beebcheeb then, he knows he doesn't need to get past FH. He'll be champion no matter what at the moment. And FH he's still holding on to try and close out his time at GSR Tier 2, because most likely he'll be in Tier 1 next season. Because well, the fact is the other tiers he's in EGSR Tier 1. He's been recently promoted to ABS Tier 1, and he reserves for ARL Tier 1. So it would only be fitting then for FH to be then in GSR Tier 1. It's pretty much the only one he isn't in at the moment. He has done a few races there, but Beebcheeb then going to try it again. Just 5 laps to go then. FH still holding on, but Cameron is still there. Still only half a second behind Beebcheeb. But Beebcheeb at the moment, he's getting close to FH now. He could have a go then, but he's completely out of hers then. Beebcheeb, can he try it down to turn 4? No. But Beebcheeb really showing his pace, because of course he's on the harder tyre compared to these guys. And Beebcheeb then providing us with a great fight. Cameron then, of course, the other soft runner, providing us with a good fight. Not really any other fights going on now. So there are only 9. There's 20 cars starting. There's only 9 left. So that just says something about this race.
That was
but
crazy.
yeah, Yeah, that has indeed been crazy. But FH then he's actually gained a lot of errs on this lap, but as is Beebcheeb technically. But so then Cameron's just about within DRS range, but Cameron's saving his errs then. Gonna try and save them back up. FH then almost with his personal best. As is Beebcheeb. Beebcheeb tries. He's still trying to get past, which is 4 laps ago. He's running out of time here. But he's still, as I said, doing enough to close this championship out. Well, as I said, it would have been pretty much impossible for FH to close this championship out unless Beebcheeb was to retire and FH was to get the fast lap. Who actually has the fastest lap? That's Cameron. Cameron's got the fastest lap, which is quite interesting. So, God, Cameron's showing his pace at the end of this season. FH then he's trying. Oh, he doesn't get the best of X. He's off 9. Beebcheeb's right there. So this is a great battle in here between these guys. Beebcheeb then with a slight bit more errs then. FH then is about a quarter of a second down. Beebcheeb's really hustling him now. So Beebcheeb then he's got the overtake, but he's crucially he's got more errs this time, and he's closer this time. And Cameron now is quite far back. Here comes Beebcheeb then. He's going to go to the outside, which is very hard to do. Around the outside, center S. They make contact again, but Beebcheeb he's got it done this time. But of course, I don't know who's got DRS. That is FH. Here he comes then, trying to go around the outside at turn 4. This battle is still not over there. Battle is still not over yet. He almost takes his championship rival out. That was audacious from FH. But Beebcheeb now down to 3rd. Because, well, he would be in 3rd. Wait, no. Would he be in 3rd? I don't know at this point. Because I don't know the penalties. No, he wouldn't have been. He would have been 2nd. Oh, FH then. Some literally right on the edge stuff there between him and Beebcheeb. That just shows you how intense this rivalry has been between these guys. But Beebcheeb now is trying to have a go on Cameron, but Cameron of course is very close to FH now, and Cameron has a slight little bit more overtake to use, but not now. He doesn't, because FH he's not using his overtake at all. So will FH let Cameron go? No, he won't, because Cameron's not quite close enough. No, he's not quite close enough. Just 2 laps to go then. The battle at the front still raging on between FH, Cameron and Beebcheeb. Here comes Beebcheeb then. He could have a go then on Cameron. Maybe going down into the red Reposter, but not quite enough. I know this has been a brilliant battle to end off GSR Season 5. Although that may not mean a lot in the championship, it certainly shows what FH could have done in Mexico if he'd have got the strategy right. So, and that could have meant that FH could have maybe won it here, but what's happened has happened, and FH is more than deserved of a runner-up in the Tier 2 Championship. But of course, he'll want to close out this season with a win. Leclerc then was looking so strong, but unfortunately, he got taken out in that incident. Beebcheeb then all over the back of Cameron. Then going down the start-finish straight onto the final lap. Then is FH who leads from Cameron to Beebcheeb. This battle still raging on. Now really between Beebcheeb and Cameron. They're so close then coming through the center S. Beebcheeb's tyres coming alive right now. Could he try and get 2nd back from Cameron? Here he comes then, down to Red Reposter for the final time. Beebcheeb's not quite close enough, but he could maybe get Cameron on the run to the line. But Cameron will have the run of FH. He could actually have a go down into 6th, but not quite close enough then to the back of the Haas then. But oh god, I'm losing my voice right now. JS then and Striker then actually having a little bit of a battle at the end. I think JS has closed back up to Striker. Yes, he has. But then coming into the final few corners of GSR Season 5, it's been a fascinating season from all the 75 races we've had. Actually a little bit so that, but Beebcheeb is really close. But FH then he's going to win the final race of the season. But it's Beebcheeb who has held on to be a GSR double world champion. Beebcheeb then takes the Tier 2 Season 4 Drivers' Championship. He's joined Axe F1, Alabama Outlaw, and GSR Grosjean. With that feat, FH may have won the race, but it's championship glory for Beebcheeb.
What an ending.
Yeah. What a race. That was a really good battle between those guys, but FH would have won anyway. He would be happy to end off this season with a win. Not quite close enough to Beebcheeb in order to snatch it away, but Beebcheeb gets championship glory in his final GSR race, the perfect way to end it out. He may not have got the win, but it's championship glory for Beebcheeb once again. And I believe, in a minute, I'll check the constructor standings actually, because Beebcheeb and I don't know where Elite Snipes got, because that could be interesting, because FH could have back-to-back constructors championships. If McLaren had done it with FH, then takes the final victory of the season ahead of Cameron, and of course the crucial result for Beebcheeb to end out what's been a fascinating season here in GSR. Our 5th and final champion has been crowned, and boy do these guys deserve to celebrate after that. What a race.
I think McLaren holds on to the constructors.
Yes, they do. So McLaren then, although Beebcheeb may have got the drivers, McLaren then hold on, courtesy of FH's victory, to win the Constructors' Championship. For FH, it's back-to-back Constructors' Championship victories. He won. Haas won the Constructors in Tier 3 last season, which FH, of course, was a part of, and now McLaren have done it in Tier 2 with yet another Constructors' Championship for McLaren. They've had quite a few in GSR, but what about from these guys at the end? The perfect way to end out this season, and yeah, we'll just now try and get them in. Yeah, we'll just.
Well done, the top Beebcheeb. Yeah, I mean, we had a good battle. I didn't feel any contact, so sorry about that.
Oh no, I just understood. I was
okay.
generally like, I think there was one time into turn 1 where I just missed my braking and smashed into the side as well. Yeah. Oh, it's good to see Cameron.
I know. Where was that pace all season then? If only I had pace this season, it'd have been up there.
That's where it's on season.
Yeah. Because we have a champion here, we'll do it in odd order. So we'll start off with Cameron then. So
oh god,
the
China teams.
Oh
god. Let's change the track order to this season.
Yeah. After that safety car, it just looked like you kind of came alive in the final few laps. Of course, you had a very good battle between FH and Beebcheeb in the end. Does that pace give you confidence going into next season?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wasn't expecting to be up here in the top 3. All I was aiming for was points, but I mean, I got lucky with the safety car because the safety car timed it perfectly. But I mean, I wasn't meant to start in the softs. The game just chucked me in the softs. I was meant to start in the mediums, but somehow it chucked me in the softs, and I was fuming. But in the end, it's worked out, and it's a P2 with a fastest lap, and I'll take that. And it's getting a good pace for next season. Hopefully, I can do well.
Yeah. It was also quite a matter of, well, I mean, there's a bit of luck in there because there was that huge crash behind you guys with, I think it was Abra, Leclerc, and Callum, which Leclerc was quite unlucky to be put in that. Do you reckon then going into next season, whichever tier you'll be. Does this result then? Could this be a sign of things to come? Because you seem to just be almost in your own zone in that race. You seem to be quite focused. You seem to be you seem to have really good pace, which is not to be rude, but it's almost like you were saving it for the final race because you put on a great show for us there.
Yeah, I mean, if I showed that pace earlier in the season, I could have had so much more points considering how low points I'm on in the standings. But whatever tier I'm placed in next season, hopefully. I mean, if I'm in tier 2 next season, most likely not going to be challenging for the championship, but maybe tier 3 if I was in there. I could definitely probably push for the championship and hopefully win it. If I'm a tier 2 at 3, that's if I was placed in it.
Yeah. All right then, Thrasher, do you have any questions for our second place man?
No, but congratulations on a well-deserved podium.
Cheers.
Yeah. Right then, we'll move on to another race win today for GSR FH 444. So if anything, that alternate strategy it really worked out for you. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for Abra because he got caught up in a massive crash. But does this actually I should say as well, McLaren of course, constructors champions.
That's good.
Are you happy with what you've done this season? Because I think it's back-to-back constructors championships for you. Because
and for McLaren
Haas for last season, and then McLaren for this season. So you happy with what both yourself and Jimbo have done this season?
Well, all I need now is our driver's title. That's still a bit short for me. I bottled this one last season. I was catching up, but yeah, that was the main goal for me and Jensen to get the constructors title. We did it, so I'm delighted. I can't believe we did that. From like 7th out to China to being top, it's incredible. I don't know how we've done it, but we did it. So yeah, I'm really happy. And yeah, well, don't know if I'll win the constructors next season, but I'll give it another go, I guess.
Yeah. Speaking of next season, I know Tier 1's going to be a whole different beast, but still, does this final win of the season give you confidence that you could maybe challenge for solid points and maybe even podiums and race victories next season?
Well, I think we've seen a few times this season with a few of my comebacks that I've definitely got better race pace and quality pace. So I hope I can just, I hope I could get a couple of podiums, maybe a win. I'm not expecting much though, because Jab and Immortal and Brew, Busy, those ads are going to be quick. Whammon, they're going to be quick. So it's going to be a tough season next time, but I'm looking forward to the challenge, especially with my favorite team, Mercedes, because Lewis fanboy here. Since 2012. Since 2012, when I was 5 years old. So don't judge me. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fanboy. So yeah.
Just passionate.
It's bad luck in 2012. So. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the challenge next season. It gives me a ton of confidence, especially like with a track I'm awful at. And yeah, might as well say this quickly. I was awful at that race. I had no pace. I don't know how Beebcheeb was. What else? I do know actually. He was 10 times quicker than me. So fair play. He managed to keep up with the Warner hard tires, so he did very well on them. So nice to see.
Yeah, you did say to me how this track was so cool to control the track, and of course you run on wheels, so you did defend very well against him. Your defense moves were a little bit aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm referring to, I think it was lap 34.
Yeah.
When it got a little bit too far, but
Nah, I class that as fair, to be honest. I would do the exact same in this situation.
Yeah. It happens a few laps before, so I mean,
if you're I guarantee it's gonna happen.
My first reaction was
gonna get your elbows out.
That's racing.
My reaction was just, oh, he hit me. When on lap 31 or whatever, it was just, oh, he hit me. Yeah, but no, I mean, I felt like I could push a little bit more because, of course, I'm not salty, but I'm still think that Monza instance should have still been a time penalty. So I thought I could probably get away with it if I defended a little bit more aggressively. But yeah, that's why I was a little bit iffy in my opinion. Even I thought it was a little bit iffy my defending today, but I won, so I will. And well, we seemed fine after it. Beeb lost his position, which was a bit iffy as well in my opinion, but none of us died, so it's okay.
Still, you probably would have won anyway because you didn't have penalties. But
I know, I did think about that after that.
Yeah.
But I won.
Do you know how I got my 3-second penalty?
Yeah,
I
how?
cut a corner
You
on the straight.
didn't you? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that happens to me.
That's
That happens to
not
me.
possible.
No,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah,
That's
yeah, I
happened to me.
saw that.
Don't worry. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I accept that. It's okay.
I got 2 warnings on 1 lap for, I think it was a safety car restart because I was on pause because I was playing Clash of Clans and I didn't realise the safety car was finishing. And so I had to warm up my tyres.
I love that, man.
I had to warm up my tyres and then I got
Do you know
2
what?
warnings
I'm
and then I
just going to
kept
put
going
this
on the
GSR
straight.
fun fact. Beebcheeb is that good he can play Clash of Clans and still get a podium.
Your final race, you're playing
Yeah,
Clash
just
of Clans,
Clash
right?
Clans
Yeah, I
is-
got a notification saying my base was getting raided, so I had to go back to the beach.
Can I
Oh
put
my
that as a
God.
fun fact?
Oh,
Please.
God.
Yeah, sure.
Fun fact:
you.
his base got raided while battling for a lead in the
Hold on.
GSR race.
Beebcheeb
Oh, man.
can get a podium.
I
Actually,
also have an insight on what
I'll ping
happened,
you in it.
um,
I'll give you a ping.
on the
Alright,
safety car thing, because I was in a park with Snipes and Leclerc, basically, because I could call when we were going, so I called when we were going, and then I think Snipes had a good restart because Leclerc had boxed, so he was further back, but then Snipes was like 4th, and he got smashed into the back of by someone who just sent it up the inside. Then he smashed into Abra, and then I don't know what happened with Leclerc, but they all just got killed. So, because I mean, I know Snipes didn't record what happened to him. He doesn't know how, because he's a fucking retard. But yeah, so he just got smashed into the back of him. So that looked like chaos. So I'm glad I wasn't involved in that.
What happened was, I think it was Abra, Leclerc, and Callum. Basically, they were going 3 wide through the center S, and then I think Callum turned across, and basically they were just strewn all over the track. So that was interesting. Anyway, Thrasher, do you have any questions for our race winner?
Right.
I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, FH. So obviously, the heartbreaker last season of not being able to win the championship, and then this season again falling just short. Does that give you more momentum going into next season? I mean, obviously, tier 1, there's a lot of fast guys in there. But does this give you any momentum going into next season?
I mean, kind of. But I'm probably gonna try and use no line for next season. Start to try and use that. Because obviously I want to focus on ABS. Thank you for signing me, Thrasher. You're a legend. I want to focus on that probably as my main priority. And then I want to try and recover the ARL season to try and see if I can win that title. So I'll probably use GSR as like a practice for no line. But we'll see what can happen. Maybe I can do something by the end of the season, but I'm not expecting much for next because it's just going to be like a practice season for next year's game, in my opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
Well,
momentum's good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right then. So now we've had a bit of a while, but now we're finally at our second back-to-back champion of this season, Beebcheeb.
Mr. Fashion Champions.
Yes, it's good. I mean, going into this season, I didn't know how fast I'd be. Because I remember the first race season in Australia, I was slow. I was so slow. And then I just kept bottling at the start, and then somehow ended up at the front. But it was close. It was good. Enjoyed it. I'm happy with actually winning a championship. But yeah, it's good. I mean, I wanna, because I'm leaving at the end of this season. I'm gonna join WR, but I've been dumped in Tier 9 because obviously I use auto gears and ABS and line because I suck.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I found.
Please don't
It's
take
so
my
annoying.
my insults personally.
No, I just find it funny.
Oh,
Okay,
I
fair.
want to try and like find all the best people in the world on auto gears and have like a big auto gears race.
I mean, I could switch to auto gears if you want me to for a race.
That'd be good fun. I'll see if I can organise that for ABRL.
I will just do I could do a one-off on auto gears if you really want me to.
Yeah, go on. I'll see if I might make something. I could do like an all gears off, or all assists off, then all assists on thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that just has to turn off line. Epic. That's fine.
oh right. Oh man. Does it feel a little bit bittersweet that you're ending off your GSR career on basically the best note possible?
Sort of. I mean, I could have won this race. But that damn safety car came out lap 21. I was fuming about that. Me and Leclerc was so fast. We were so far ahead, and then the safety car
Help me
came
out
out.
a bit.
Yeah, helped me a lot as well.
It helped everyone apart from me and Leclerc, because we'd all boxed.
It's kind of nice.
that
I mean,
I
how
got
makes it
bins,
get
so
me
you know.
that soft because of the bloody game.
Yeah.
Those stupid glitches.
Well then, it's been a very interesting. It was a very exciting end of the race to watch. Thrasher, do you have any questions for our champion this season?
Yeah, so as Aid said, ending off your GSR career, first of all, what a career you've had. Double champion, joined a prestigious list with Alabama Outlaw Axe and
That's it.
Grosjean.
Oh yeah, go on.
You joined that list, ending off your GSR career. Did you enjoy? I don't want to say something stupid, but did you enjoy your time here in GSR?
Yeah, I've had lots of good races. I mean, I think this season I feel like I've done terribly, but actually I've been a lot more consistent than I was last season. But I've had lots of fun. I've had lots of good battles. This season I figured out how to qualify, so I didn't have as much fun at the back getting taken out.
That's always good.
Yeah, but no, that's been good fun.
Well, congratulations on a great career in GSR, and congratulations on being another champion.
Yeah,
Well done. I may as well just say it, but I know we've had a bit of difficulties, but do you know what? You bloody deserve it. I just happy with the season I had with the comeback and all that. From 10th before the break to getting second again, that's just a miracle.
It's just a bottle.
I'm just a
fair play
bottle.
for you winning a championship.
Yeah, but no, well done. You deserve it more than I do, so fair play.
They
Both
deserves
do
it the
deserve
most.
it. Both of you
Costa
deserve it,
deserves
but there's
it.
always one.
Costa
Costa.
deserves it. Costa got killed. Costa and Leclerc got killed all season.
It's like just gave up, so
Yeah, I mean, I did see him just get taken out of a win on the last lap at Singapore, so I don't blame him.
oh god.
Yeah, he got it was a safety car.
I
at
would
the
have
end,
won that
and
race
then-
as well if I didn't get a stupid time penalty, but you know.
Yeah, I won that because someone got a time penalty in the last corner, last lap.
Okay,
so I won that.
well, that is actually no. I think that may still be the luckiest win of the season. I'm second.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
I'm second on that list. I'm second on that list. Second and third on that list. So yeah.
Alright then, so that's it for us then for GSR season 5. What a season it's been. Of course, what a conclusion to the championship with 3 championship deciders, all been equally thrilling in their own right. I think it's about 3 weeks till pre-season testing in Barcelona, I believe. So it's so then we'll be back then with of course all the new drivers and pre-season for GSR season 6, and then just 2 weeks after that on the 9th of April we'll kick off season 6 in Bahrain. But for now, I've been GSR8F1. My co-commentator has been GSR Thrasher, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.